And hello there. We'd like to welcome you into the Philly and Fred show for Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing the game from this weekend. We're going to have a couple true or falses. We're going to have a couple who are you takings. We're going to have the futures from the losers of this weekend, how good we think their future is. And then we have winners and losers from this weekend. And before we start out, we're going to talk about a major factor, and we've talked about it all year, and it's just a massive part of football, and that's the turnovers. The turnover differential in the four games this weekend were the Bears turned the ball over 3 times, the Rams turned it over 0. The Texans had 5 turnovers, the Patriots had 3. The 49ers had 3 turnovers, the Seahawks had 0, and the Bills had 5, and the Broncos had 1. So that tells you right there, when you get into the playoffs, if you can turn somebody over and you don't turn the ball over, you give yourself a great chance of winning. And we'll start in the first game where it seemed like turnovers were the biggest, well, not the biggest issue, but the biggest game changer because the Bills lost 30 and the Broncos had 33. And the Bills turned the ball over. I mean, they seemed way better. But you had 5 turnovers. Josh Allen had 4. But if I'm going to say Josh Allen had 4 turnovers, 2 were his fault. Because I'm not going to blame the strip sack, the blindside strip sack on him, and I'm not going to blame the Cooks interception. Like, he threw a great ball, Cooks got the ball ripped from him, but I can say something about him fumbling the ball with 15 seconds left and giving them an extra 3 points, and then the horrific underthrow where the safety cut underneath it, picked it. So he wasn't great by any standards. He had 4 turnovers. 2 were his fault. 2 weren't really. I'm not going to blame on him. And this game looked like it was going to be a blowout for the Bills. Before that Cooks fumble, it looked like they were going to go up 14-3. They were going to control this game and really have it under wraps in, I think, the second quarter. And then Cooks fumbles, Broncos go down and score. And then, I mean, just the Bills just demolished. They just killed themselves in the second quarter. And then early third, they just completely shot themselves in the foot, turning the ball over. And the defense really didn't play that bad. They gave up 33 points, but, I mean, it was turnover after turnover. I mean, Josh Allen, his fumble, well, actually, both of his fumbles were basically field goals. They were already in field goal range when they happened. So, yeah, the Bills the Bills just, they self-destructed. And I've been talking about the Bills self-destructing, but I have to give the Broncos credit because that defense, like, we could say what we want about Allen, and he carried the ball like a loaf of bread. But, I mean, as a defense, you got to force turnovers, and then you got to be there. You got to get on the ball. There's things you got to do to get turnovers. So I'm not going to say that was sorely on the Bills. I'm going to give the Broncos some credit for that. And then plus, Bo Nix, I mean, he was really good, especially throwing deep down the field. I mean, guy used his legs, got out of the pocket. He really outplayed Josh Allen. And, I mean, if I'm the Broncos, I'm crushed by the news, which we'll get to after. But, I mean, if I know that's my quarterback going forward and he plays like that in big games, I got confidence going forward that we found the guy and we might have a guy that can lead us to multiple Super Bowls and really just have success throughout his career. What were your thoughts on this one, Philly?
Yeah, I thought Broncos played to lose this game, honestly. Because when they went up, or when they was up 2010 and got the fumble, had all the momentum, only got a field goal out of it. When they was up, you saw them, they just completely abandoned the run. Your running backs combined for 10 total rushes, and I get it. RJ Harvey and Jaleel McLaughlin aren't the type of guys that, go, they're not the type of guys to run in between the tackles. But still, McLaughlin only had 4 carries, but he was averaging over 5 yards a carry. So I just didn't understand why you was relying on just Bo Nix to make plays when you could have ran the ball, kept the ball out of Josh Allen's hands. And on the Bills side, yeah, Josh Allen, you can't have all those turnovers. 4 turnovers, like you said, probably two, which was really his fault, but still, like if you only have 2 turnovers in that game, you might win by double digits, honestly, because the way you stormed back in that game was too easy. James Cook had a monster day, and yeah, he's probably leaving that game like, yeah, I let my team down, and this was my chance, and now my coach is fired. So, but this ended up being a very entertaining game. Came down to a controversial call in overtime. Do you what are your thoughts on? Do you think it was a catch, interception?
I'll never speak on knowing if what's a catch and what's not a catch. I don't know what's a catch. I don't know what will ever be a catch. I don't know the rules. I've watched multiple games, and then in the Bears game, it looked like Devontae Adams did the same thing. Looks like he caught it, didn't make a football move. His knee hit the ground. The Bears ripped it away, and they said, "Oh, that's a catch." So once I saw that, I was like, "Oh, I didn't think I had a clue. Now I really don't have a clue." Because when I saw those two plays, I didn't see a difference in them, but yet had two different results. So yeah, I don't know what a catch is. I'll never know what a catch is if I'm being honest.
Yeah, yeah. I saw everybody comparing the two, which looked, yeah, just very similar. So yeah, a lot of controversy, but nonetheless, Bills, or excuse me, Broncos come away with the victory, and yeah, both they won't have their starting quarterback, which will be interesting to see. I honestly still haven't even looked back to see which play it was. I'm gonna have to do that, but yeah.
It was the QB run to the left right before the throw downfield,
Mm,
and
okay.
you could see him kind of hop up and kind of like wiggle it around and be like, "Oh, that feels weird." And I guess the adrenaline was pumping. And then the next throw, you could tell he couldn't use that back foot at all.
Mm,
So I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, and on the Broncos part of not running the ball, we talked about it before the game. We said this is weakness versus weakness. Since the Dobbins injury, the Broncos haven't been able to run the ball, and the Bills can't stop the run. And the Broncos had somewhat success. And then when you get up 13, that's when you stop running the ball, which yeah, I don't really understand. So yeah, I don't know with them. I don't know what that plan call or what that plan was in the second half, but I guess it worked. They won. I don't know if I'd try to do that again, but it worked. And on the other side, it's funny because just like with Lamar last year, it was eerily similar to Lamar's playoff game last year, where in the first half and like early say it was like, what is he doing? And he's got bad turnovers. And then he leads his team all the way down. And literally, if the guy he throws the ball to, Lamar and Josh Allen, catch the ball, we're having two totally different conversations about both of them after the game. We're having the conversation of, oh man, the guy's a warrior. He played bad in the first half. He had turnovers, but man, when they needed him most, he showed up. And man, that's a heroic effort and a really great performance. But now, since both guys didn't catch the ball, we're saying they're both playoff chokers. They'll never win a Super Bowl. They can't get it done in the big moments. And that's why I hate QB discourse is because it's like it's based on what somebody else does. Like I said, if both those guys catch that, people look at them completely differently, even though it has nothing to do with the quarterback. It has to do with the receiver catching the ball. But I mean, I don't know why I keep talking about it because it's just it seems like it's going to be that's going to be the discourse for QBs forever. And yeah, I mean the Bills led to every stat but turnovers, and it sucks because the first 6 years before or the last 6 years before this, it was always Josh Allen's team failing him, whether it be the defense, whether it be a kicker, whether it be a receiver. But this year, he still he still gave his team a chance. But if there's a big reason you have to point out what it is, it's really got to be the turnovers because we talked about the turnover differential before the game, and we said that the team that won the turnover differential won every game, and he was the guy with the turnovers. So, and then like you said, we'll finish with Bo Nix done for the season. I mean, Broncos fans, that had to be crushing. They had 10 minutes to celebrate, and then Sean Payton comes out and says, "Oh, starting quarterback, second-year guy, looks great. He's done for the season. We're in the AFC Championship game. We're hosting it, and he's out. So we'll see what Jared Stidham can do on the Bill side. We have to bring this up, and I honestly forgot about it. But then somebody on TikTok, I forgot the guy's name. I'll probably tag him in this, but if we post this clip. But he brung up that before this playoff started, we had a true or false where I said, is there more pressure on Sean McDermott than Josh Allen? And looks like it was true because after this game, the Monday of, they fired Sean McDermott. And here, let me know your thoughts on this because there's 6 years of losses that were way worse and way more on him than this year. This was the year it really wasn't his fault. This team had 4 turnovers. You have multiple bad calls from the refs. If you look on Twitter, that's what people think. So I think this was a decision. Let me know your thoughts. I think this was a decision that was made before the season started. I think this was if you don't take this team and Josh Allen to the Super Bowl, you're gone. We don't want to hear excuse. If something happens this year, hey, I'm sorry. You haven't took our guy to the Super Bowl, and we're gonna have to get rid of you. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's kind of what it seemed like because this was the year out of Indy. This had nothing to do with Sean McDermott. He's not turning the ball over out there. Your team had 5 turnovers on offense. That's just unacceptable, and you still had a chance to win. Yeah, that's kind of. I guess they saw all the flaws in the defense this year, the worst rush defense, and they probably had their mind made up when they made the playoffs. If we basically, it was probably if we don't get at least to the Super Bowl, then you're probably gone. But yeah, I mean this had nothing to do with them honestly. This time around, so yeah, I think the front office did have their mind made up.
Well, and we'll get to this later, but you said the defense was bad. I mean, that's partially because of the GM not having drafting 2 Pro Bowlers since he's been there. So I think that's a scenario where, I think everybody was at fault but him this year. The GM, that roster, we talked about all year, the roster wasn't good. They just had Josh Allen. We didn't think that defense was nothing special. They didn't have a number 1 receiver. And then I think you scapegoat the coach. So, yeah, I think I don't know, maybe you think you couldn't get over it with him, but to fire him this year, it seems like the decision was already made if they didn't make it to the Super Bowl, or they're using him as a scapegoat. So we'll see about them moving forward. On to Seattle. 49ers 6, Seahawks 41. This was just BTA all game from the start. That's why you get Rashid Shaheed. You get him to be a playmaker. In the first play of the game, and we said the 49ers got to get turnovers, and they can't make any mistakes. Well, I'd call letting a guy take a kickoff to start the game probably a mistake. You have 3 turnovers, and Seattle just looks complete. What were your thoughts? That's kind of what I got to say about this game. Not much more else to say.
Yeah, correct. If you're San Fran special teams, that you can't give Brock Purdy the ball down 7-0 in the first 10 seconds of the game. That's just unacceptable. The kicker tried to stop that from happening. If he stops that, he's not scoring right there. So
when he did a slide tackle, did a soccer slide tackle, which hey, I commend the effort. They always say do what you got to do to get the guy on the ground, but yeah, it was a new technique.
Yeah. I was like, oh, maybe that wasn't a bad play of trying to trip there. So, but this was pretty much over from the jump right there. And Brock Purdy didn't have his best game as it was. His receivers didn't help him out. There was a lot of drops from 49ers receivers. And this was just a complete massacre. Niners, you had to get off to a better start when you just put up 3 on this team just 2-3 weeks ago. And that was literally the worst way to start a game. So Seahawks, they continue to do what they've been doing the last several weeks or so. So this team is for real. So
Yeah, and we talked about Sam Darnold not turning the ball over, and they're really not giving him a chance to, because the last 10 games they've averaged 31 rushes per game, and they've been getting 144 yards per game on 4.5 yards per carry. And I mean that they're just trying to control time of possession. They know they got a great defense. They're keeping your offense off the field. They're keeping the ball out of harm's way. And that showed because the last 7 games, Darnold's got 3 picks. First 10 games, he have 11. So running the ball more, running it proficiently. Darnold's not turning it over when he does throw it. And with that roster, if they play like that, it'll be tough to beat because that roster's loaded. Oh, and before we move on, final thoughts. I guess it's technically about the game, but I think Paul Pierce got CTE brain playing basketball. Because did you see his tweets?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said Seahawks got Purdue doing something, and then he tried to spell Darnold, and it was a horrific fail. And it wouldn't auto-correct that. I don't really know where he was going. When I read that, I was like, oh, you know what? The strippers with the alcohol, you know what? This is all making a lot of sense now. I don't know how much power is left in that brain. And he played basketball, but maybe he played football more than we think. Because CTE, it might be real. Hopefully he gets something, checked out. Spell Purdue's pretty wild. On to the next game. On to Sunday. Texans 16, Patriots 28. What were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm starting to think CJ Stroud is similar to Tua. I mean, he simply cannot play in bad weather at all. And yeah, this was bad weather. It seems like this game and we watched this together. There was a turnover. It felt like every other drive. So it was fun to watch. But yeah, Texans. I feel like if Patriots played any other quarterback though in this division round, they probably would have lost. So if I'm a Patriots fan, I don't know. Even though you won by double digits, I don't know how good you're feeling after that win because I mean Texans just couldn't convert when Patriots was giving them opportunities. Patriots wasn't capitalizing off all the turnovers. So it's like Patriots got a turnover and then they couldn't move the ball down the field. Drake May put the ball on the ground 4 times, lost 2 fumbles, and I believe an interception. So that was a little surprising. I mean, even with that good defense, you thought they would capitalize with some good field position. And Texans, I don't know how you're feeling after you thought you had your star quarterback and CJ Stroud, but the last 2 years he hasn't, or at least in the playoffs, hasn't really performed. He did real good since he came back from injury mid-season, but after that, in the playoffs, he had 10 total turnovers, which is just in 2 games, which is unacceptable. You felt like you had a defense that has been one of the best defenses we saw in a long while, and that could very much win the Super Bowl. But he couldn't produce offensively when it counted, so that hurts. So yeah,
Oh yeah, I think he ruined a Broncos s Ravens s run that I think the Texans could have went on defensively, but he just turned the ball over way too much. And we'll have a discussion on true or false. We'll have a question that comes along with that with Stroud. But yeah, I mean, it's almost like he thought he had to be Josh Allen. It's almost like he thought he had the Bills roster and he had to be Superman like Josh Allen. Like we've been saying, Josh Allen's got to be Superman all year. It's like he thought that because some of the plays just made no sense. Like the pick six, what are you doing? You're trying to throw a ball with the guy directly in your face instead of just taking the sack, throwing away, gets tipped up in the interception. He's the first quarterback in NFL history in a single postseason to have 5 fumbles and 5 interceptions. And he did it in 2 games. And like you said, the defense kept giving you chances, but he just kept giving it back to him. I don't know. I don't know where they go. Like, I really don't because Stroud's coming up on his 5th year. Or it might be his 4th year, but that 5th year option's coming. And his rookie year, I mean, he looked like a stud. And then last year he kind of struggled, but they still won a playoff game. And then this year he looked okay. He was hurt, and then he had this playoffs where he looked terrible. And on the Patriots side, I can't say like, oh man, I don't know how they're feeling because they won. Like to be in an AFC Championship game with a second year quarterback, they got to be really happy about that. And yeah, but can Patriots, if we play a pass rusher like Will Anderson, can we have a different game plan next time? Because you're lucky Stroud turned the ball over 5 times because they kept blocking Will Anderson with Will Campbell one on one, and it never ended good. It was a strip sack once. I think he had 2 sacks on the game. He pressured him multiple times. They just kept letting him block him one on one. They didn't try to chip him with a tight end, with a running back. They just kept running it out there, and they were like, hey, it didn't work the last 3 times, but we got confidence in Campbell this time. We think it'll work. So, yeah, I think they got bailed out. But second-year quarterback, first-year head coach in the AFC Championship game. Got to feel good. And 2 things before we get off this game. Networks, can we stop saying they're back to their first conference championship game since 2018? Like, come on, bro. That was like 6 years ago, 7 years. Like, what are we doing? I hated that. Like, oh my God, it's like they've struggled. It's like, yeah, they had a couple bad seasons. They had Tom Brady in 2018. Can we stop doing that? And the last thing, I think we talked about this when we were watching the game. I think Vrabel says, if you say anything in the media or you show me up, it's going to be you and me in an octagon fight. Because A.J. Brown, when he was at Tennessee, I don't remember a peep being said. I don't think he ever said anything. And now since he's with the Philly, he's always talking to the media. He's showing his coach up. In Tennessee, didn't hear a peep. Diggs, everywhere he's been. Minnesota, threw a fit. Buffalo, threw a fit. Texans, not really as bad, but I think he was hurt. That was a different type of year. This year, ain't heard a peep out of him. Don't say, well, besides, the strangulation thing, but that's off the field. Breville can't help that. But with the chef, that's a BBL, wild stuff. But, yeah, I mean, ain't heard a word out of him. In his interviews, he's precise. He's saying exactly what he needs to say, and then he's getting out of there. Yeah. Vrabel, that guy, people don't play with him. There's been some guys that would be called diva receivers in other places, but when they go where he's coaching, none of that nonsense. All right, Philly. You get to go first. Last game of the weekend, Rams 20, Bears 17.
Yeah, tragic loss. And if you would have told me, if I was not watching this game and you would have told me that the Bears held the Rams to 17 points in regulation, I would have said, oh yeah, we definitely won that game. But I mean, this was just a dogfight defensive game and some bad weather. And I was really, I gotta give kudos to our defense because they played absolutely phenomenal. No, we didn't get the takeaways that we've been doing all season, but Stafford, he probably looked the most uncomfortable he has all season. And I think that weather really was a factor. Um, Offensively, we moved the ball a little bit. I feel like, I mean, we definitely had our chances, got stopped in the red zone a few times. Probably could have kicked a few field goals that we didn't. So it was a lot of missed opportunities, a lot of drop balls as well on our side. Caleb wasn't great, but I mean, when we needed him the most, he performed. He did have 3 turnovers. I feel like, well, yeah, obviously the last one I don't think was really his fault. A little laziness on the route by DJ Moore, but I think some of our play calling was definitely questionable. And fourth down, that we was 1-4 on fourth down, which I believe was the difference in the game. We had a lot of fourth and shorts where Rams defense played well as well. But yeah, just Caleb made probably the best throw of the whole entire season, and like nobody's gonna remember it because of the interception in overtime. But I mean that throw, as we was both watching, just I mean we couldn't believe it. So we have a lot to, you know, I guess not hang our hats on. We had a phenomenal season. Feel like we should probably be still playing next week. But I mean, overall, what Ben Johnson did with this club was fantastic. So yeah, I wish we still playing, obviously, but we have a lot of stuff to build on for next year. So yeah.
Alrighty. Before I talk about the game, dude, keep teams in the North without a dome because I love snow, cold playoff football. There is nothing like watching a Bears game, Packers game, Steelers game where there's snow on the ground and it's cold. And that's an advantage. Why would you not want a dome if you were in the North? Having a team from sunny LA or from sunny Houston, which I guess they're a dome too, but they play in the AFC South. Every team's either a dome or plays in warm weather. Like, why would you not want that advantage? And plus, there's something beautiful about a snow game. There's something beautiful about a game that's cold, that's 10 degrees outside. It just feels football like. It feels tough. It feels old school. So yeah, that was also a thought I had in that game. Like, yeah, keep the teams in the North Dome. I like that. But in regards to the game, I mean, neither quarterback looked good, neither offense looked good. I think both offensive coordinators weren't great. But then it's one of those things where I say that, and that feels like I'm taking away from the defense. So I won't do that completely. Both defenses played well. Honestly, this is probably the best the Bears played all year defensively without getting turnovers. Like, because it felt like when they didn't get turnovers, they gave up a lot of points. Like, that was the issue. Like, if they're getting turnovers, oh, it's big time. You know, the offense feeds off that. But when they weren't getting turnovers, it was kind of a problem. But in this game, didn't force turnover. And that was partially bad luck. That was partially not getting the bounces because there was a couple fumbles, couple tips, balls in the air that just didn't go their way. And yeah, Stafford, I mean, he missed a lot of guys. He was overthrowing the ball. The weather might have got to him. When it comes to Caleb, we've been saying it all year. He's hit the home run ball. He's hit the trick shot. He's hit the Harlem Globetrotter shot. The crazy throw all year, really. Like, he's made a bunch of crazy throws. His problems has been the layup. Like, honestly, he probably shoots 60, 70% on the crazy shots, but then he's probably 50, 40% on the layups. Just too many missed layups. Like you said, Ben Johnson left the Lions, but he didn't leave the Dan Campbell mindset in Detroit. He brought that with him to Chicago because he almost got himself in trouble last week with the same fourth downs calls. With it's going for it as many times as he did. Luckily, the team came back, but it was the same problem last week. But yeah, like there's nothing to hold your head down on. Like, great season. You went from the bottom of the barrel to where you're at now with hope. You got the coach, you got the QB, and then you can build on that. And when it comes to the Rams, they better block, they better learn their schemes or protections or something because hey, the Bears, they played well, but they ain't the Seahawks. And that Seahawks defensive line is better than the Bears, and they're going to have to go into Seattle where it's going to be loud. They're going to have to go on a silent count, and they're going to have to face that team. So yeah, that's one thing I thought about when they finally won. I was like, oh man, they better block better next weekend because Leonard Williams and DeMarcus Lawrence are going to have them at home coming off the edges. It'd be a tough assignment. Yeah, that still was an insane throw though. That drifting back to the 40-yard line and somehow threw it right there perfectly and got the throw. And like you said on the overtime throw, that was, I don't know if it was a great decision. I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't. I'm not saying it's bad or it's good, but watching it back, I know for sure one thing is that DJ Moore gave up on the route. So I don't know how good the route would have been or how good the decision or throw would have been if he didn't give up, but he definitely gave up on the route. So yeah, that's it for the slate. We're gonna move on to true or falses. True or false? GMs need to get more heat for these firings. Oh well, my fault. We'll go over that again. True or false? GMs need to get either more fire or get fired more than the head coaches. And I think that's true because this is now multiple times, including the Bills. And really, you can even put Kevin Stefanski in there and put some of these other guys in there. Like, yeah, the scapegoat's Sean McDermott, but you look at the roster this year, the roster's not good. Bills don't have a number one receiver. Their defense has not been good. The GM's drafted 2 Pro Bowlers since 2017, and that's like almost 60 draft picks. I think around it might be a little less than that, but I know it's a lot of draft picks. He's got 2 Pro Bowlers, and then you go, oh, the coach can't get it done. He's the guy that can't get it done, even though the GM can't draft anyone. And then in Cleveland, it's the same thing. The GM signs the quarterback to a $230 million contract. A guy you're paying that much money to don't even play. He doesn't even practice in. He's been hurt, and then he's had the off-the-field stuff, and then it's the coach's fault. So, yeah, I think GMs need to get more heat because it's always just the coach is the easy scapegoat, but the GMs need to start getting more heat at being better at their job than the coaches at sometimes. What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna go true as well because, yeah, like you said, these coaches they don't draft a lot of these players, so the personnel they get, that's not what they particularly chose. So you've seen a lot of coaches on shorter leases. I want to see coaches kind of not get fired so early because yeah, like we've already said, these guys don't always construct these rosters. So I'm gonna go true as well.
All righty, next one. True or false? The Bills are cursed. I'm going to go true. I don't know if it's voodoo magic. I don't know if it's black magic, dark magic, but it's something. Because, I mean, you lose 4 Super Bowls in a row. That seems impossible. And then, since Josh Allen's been there, the last 6 playoffs, they've lost in every different type of way. Giving up a field goal with 13 seconds, losing in overtime, missing a kick, dropping the ball deep. Actually, dropping 2 deep. One Stephon Diggs and then one Kincaid. I mean, they've just lost every different way. And then the one year, you don't have none of the other guys there. You don't have the Chiefs. You don't have Burrow. You lose. And Josh Allen, who hadn't had a turnover in 6 games, the one game, if he just doesn't turn the ball over, he turns the ball over 4 times. I just got to go true. I don't know what it is. And I like the Bills. I want them to win. I like Josh Allen, but they're just something. They're cursed. That's my thoughts.
I'm right there with you, like you said, and I always like bring this up because I don't get how you go to 4 straight Super Bowls and lose every single one. Like that is just that's so tragic. It seems so impossible. Yeah, now you got your franchise QB, a guy that's gonna have multiple MVPs behind his name, and he goes to the playoffs every year. And yeah, he's lost in every type of way. He was 13 seconds away from going, and Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs said nope. And yeah, like this year, just tragic overtime loss. So yeah, I don't think the Bills, at least in our lifetime, are never gonna win a Super Bowl. So yeah, I think they are cursed.
All righty, next one. We talked about Bryce Young after the first round. We said Bryce Young might have played his way into getting paid. Well, we're going the opposite direction here. True or false? C.J. Stroud played his way out of getting paid, and I'm going to go true because I think if he has a good this playoffs, and they go to the AFC Championship game or maybe the Super Bowl, even if he's not Superman, I think if he just doesn't turn the ball over, plays well, the Texans go, oh, we got 3 good years. He's been really good. His rookie year, when we needed him to be really good, he was really good. The other 2 years when we had a really good defense, he just played the manager role. And I think they would have gave him a contract probably extension this year. But after that performance, they're going to make him play this year, and then they're just going to see what he does this year. I think he would have got an extension this year if he just didn't turn the ball over, played the role he was supposed to play, and they went to the AFC Championship or Super Bowl. But turning the ball over that many times, I think he kept himself out of getting paid. What do you think?
This is close. I want to go true, but I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna say false, and because you've seen the last few years, the Texans they've had receivers go down to season-ending injuries. Last year you had Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell, which I don't even think we've seen Tank Dell this year. And then this year you lost Nico Collins, you lost Dalton Schultz in the game, which were obviously huge factors. But I mean, yeah, to your point, this was maybe the best chance you're gonna get with that defense that you had this year. But I think next year they're gonna. I think Texas is gonna emphasize C.J. Stroud running a little bit more because I don't know why he doesn't. Honestly, he has the. He's not super fast, but he can still get out of the pocket and use his legs. I feel like at Ohio State he did that a little bit more. I don't think CJ's a bad quarterback. I think it's all mental with him. And like I said, he's lost some stud receivers in the playoffs that he hasn't had in those games. So I think next year he can still play his way back into that contract. So I'm gonna go false.
And I get what you're saying with him saying him Nico Collins being out and Schultz, but I think that would be an excuse if he just had a bad completion percentage or didn't have that many yards. My problem with that is the turnover. And it's like it's not like a guy dropping a ball or maybe Nico Collins is big, throwing it at it like a receiver's reach that doesn't have the catch radius as Nico Collins. He's just making terrible decisions, like bad choices.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my concern is like it's like you said, it's mental because I don't know if he's not seeing the field or he doesn't have what's going on, but man, from his rookie year to now, it's a big difference. Next one. True or false? Just because Jared Stidham's starting doesn't mean the Patriots are already in the Super Bowl. I'm going to go true because we seen what they did. We seen what they let Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter do. Get to the quarterback. Drake May turn the ball over. And what do the Broncos do? Better than anybody. They get to the quarterback. And Drake May's been having a fumbling problem this playoff. So, I mean, if that defense can get to him like the Texans did and like the Chargers did, he showed you he'll turn the ball over. And what did we say? The person who won the turnover differential won every game in the divisional round. So I think they still got a chance. That defense could still rush the passer. I think Stidham can honestly do enough. And I think they can maybe try to run the ball. But yeah, I think I'm going true there.
I'm gonna go true as well. You still got a veteran quarterback, even though he's a backup. You have a veteran coach that's won multiple Super Bowls. So I don't think this is just a give me. And you still have to go on the road, even though you're undefeated on the year outside of New England. You can't just treat this like it's another game. You got to prepare for it like any other game, not just because Stidham's on the other side and you think you got a free win. Yeah, I think that's why we see the spread of 5.5, 4.5. I don't think this is a gimme yet. And like you said, Fred, Broncos they lead the whole league in sacks, so they can still get to the quarterback. Drake May had a fumbling problem last week, and yeah, I don't see why it couldn't continue here. So you got to prepare for this like you would any other game. So I'm gonna go true as well.
All righty. We're going to go. That's it for true or false. We're going to move on to who you taking. You can go first on this first one, Philly. Who you taking, Philly? Rams, Matthew Stafford, or Kurt Warner, Rams?
This is tough because obviously they both won a Super Bowl in Los Angeles. But I think I'm gonna go Kurt Warner. He went to multiple Super Bowls with the Rams, although I feel like in those years he only had 3 full years, which I guess makes it a little bit more impressive. Even though he turned the ball over quite a bit in those years, but I mean he still got him a Super Bowl. And Stafford, I think I still gotta see a little bit more success while he's been at the Rams, but he's played well, and I feel like Kurt Warner had less weapons to work with. Uh, and not as good of a coach too. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Kurt Warner at the Rams.
No, I'm going to go Kurt Warner too. I mean, when the quarterback of the offense, or when the offense you run as quarterback is called the greatest show on turf, I'm going to go with you. And I mean, you said he didn't have no weapons, but hey, boy, Marshall Faulk and Terry Holt, or Torrey Holt, something Holt. You got Faulk and Holt. That's a heck of a combo right there. So yeah, I'm gonna go Kurt Warner. He won 2 MVPs. Stafford might get his first one this year. Both won one Super Bowl. Warner got the 2. So yeah, I'm gonna go Warner as well. Yeah, that's like you said. I'm gonna go Warner as well. Next, you can go first on this one as well, Philly. Who you taking? Or well, my fault. What job you taking? The Bills job or the Ravens job?
It's gotta be Ravens for me. You do have 2 MVP quarterbacks, but I just feel like the personnel on the Ravens side, you just have way more weapons to work with. I feel like the quarterbacks and the running backs even out, but the weapons you have offensively on the outside for the Ravens and the defensive side, Marlon Humphrey, um, Kyle Hamilton, you just got studs on that defense for the Ravens. Not so much on the Bills. I mean, you have some personnel, but you still have the worst rush defense this year. I think I'm taking the Ravens job if I'm trying to build something great.
Oh yeah, I think I'm probably going to take the Ravens job too because, like we said earlier, the Bills have drafted 2 Pro Bowlers in the last 8 years, and they just scapegoated the last coach who went to 2 AFC Championship games and won 8 playoff games in 6 years. So yeah, which you could say that about the Ravens, but the Ravens didn't even make the playoffs. Like the Bills lost a game in the regular season, or the Bills lost a game in the divisional, and that guy lost his job. With the Ravens, you just missed the playoffs. Yeah, Lamar's going to get healthy this year. You're going to have Derrick Henry. You're going to have Kyle Hamilton back. And I think the Ravens haven't drafted great, but they've drafted better than the Bills have. So yeah, more better front office, I think, better GM, really about the same at quarterback, running back. So yeah, I think I'm going to go Ravens as well.
And the
Next
Bills are
one.
first.
Well, yeah, that too. You can't win a Super Bowl. So the Ravens have won multiple. Yeah, that's a good way to finish it. Next, who you taking? Are you taking the Eagles roster last year or the Seahawks roster this year? I'm taking the Seahawks this year. I mean, that Eagles team was loaded last year. They got the stars, they got the studs, they got the people everybody talks about. But as a full roster, I mean, that Seahawks team is loaded. That offensive line's great. The quarterbacks, hey, you could say what you want about Sam Darnold. He's done his job this year. You got JSN. They now have added Shaheed. That defense, I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence, uh, Leonard Williams. I can't think of the big rookie, but the rookie safety, I mean, they got studs. They're young. That's a heck of a roster. Like I said, last year, Eagles had the best roster in the league last year. But I think the Seahawks have the best roster this year. And I think their roster is better than the Eagles was last year. What's your thoughts?
Hmm, this is tough. I see them right at about even. I think I gotta lean. I gotta lean to the other side. I'm gonna go Eagles roster. These guys had, I mean, a lot of studs that they ended up trading last year because I guess they didn't have enough cap space for them all, and they went and got a lot of young guys. But I mean, guys like you draft Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, guys on the offensive line like Mekhi Becton, Jason Kelsey, and then you still had your wideouts and obviously AJ Brown,
Kelsey wasn't there last year.
Devontae Smith. Who's that?
Kelsey wasn't there last year. He retired. He retired the year they lost to the Bucks.
2 years ago? Oh, that's right. I
Yeah.
apologize. Well, Lane
They
Johnson,
still
I
had a
can
good center
appreciate that.
though.
Uh, oh yeah,
The guy they
Lane
drafted was still
Johnson. I
good.
mean that offense. Yeah, offensive line was stacked. Your defense was stacked as well. Hurts played phenomenal. Saquon had a heck of a year. I think that Eagles roster was pretty stacked. I'm taking them slightly over the Seahawks this year, even though that Seahawks team is loaded.
All righty. That's it for who you taking next. We're gonna rank the losers of this weekend based on how we see their future from 4 to 1. If they can redo what they did this year and improve on it, and just going forward, how we think the roster is going to be, the team's going to be. I'll go first. I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go Texans 4 because you don't know what you got at quarterback. They're the only one of the four that I don't know where they're going to go. When you got people saying Davis Mills should maybe start or maybe go in the second half over your starter, you got a problem. And they got that great defense. And its defense is young and they got dogs. But if you got a quarterback that's got a turnover problem or mentally he's got like something with his confidence, can't have that. Next, third, I'm going to go 49ers just because they're kind of getting old. Trent Williams is getting old. McCaffrey's getting older. Fred Warner's kind of getting a little older. Kittle's getting a little older. And not only that, Bosa. And not only that, three of your best players all had season-ending injuries, like big injuries. Kittle had the Achilles. Warner had the Achilles. And then Bosa had the ACL. So, like, you're injured. You're older. I think you do have your quarterback because I think Purdy's a really good quarterback. But when it comes to injuries, like, you're old and you're injured. So, they'll be 3. Bills are 2. Roster's not great, but you got Josh Allen. That's kind of my description for them. And you don't have a head coach, so that's also a problem. And your GM, like we said multiple times, drafted 2 Pro Bowlers in 7 or 8 years, so not good either. And first, go the Bears. I think the Bears have the brightest future. They found their head coach. They found their quarterback. And then they're young at a lot of positions, especially on offense. And I think they'll go into the offseason. They'll know they got to get better. They'll get better on defense, and then they'll do what they got to do. So yeah, that's my list on futures for next year. What's your list, Philly?
Yeah, 4 Texans for me as well. Stroud, you still don't know what you're getting from him after he had a stud rookie year, but you still have a great defense, which is great. So we'll see what kind of improvements Stroud makes this upcoming year. But yeah, they got to be 4 for me. 3, I'm gonna go Bills. You got Josh Allen, you got James Cook, you got to get wideouts, and you just fired your coach. So what's this next coach gonna do to build that defense back up to what it was a few years back? But I mean, you're always gonna be in contention with Josh Allen. I was gonna put my Bears here too, but I think that was a great point that you made with the San Fran getting older. I mean, they have studs, but it seems like every single year they have multiple guys go out with season-ending injuries. Yes, you do have Bosa, you have Warner, you won't have IU, but just guys like that just seem to never be on the field, or it's just somebody new each year that's never on the field. You have the coach, you have the quarterback and Purdy, CMC. I mean, he's getting banged up each year too. So I think, I mean, 49ers, they're always going to be in contention, but the injuries are an every year factor. And then, yeah, I'll go 1 for my Bears. I'll switch those 2 because we found the coach, we found the quarterback. We did great in last year's draft in getting Loveland, Luther Burden, and Kyle Monunga. So I think getting that defense right, which we had the most takeaways, but want to limit those yards. I think we have a very bright future. So I'll go Bears at 1.
Yeah. And like you said with the 49ers, like I feel about the 49ers how I feel about the Lions defense. Because it's like people keep going like, man, if we get healthy, we're going to do it. But it's like, I can't believe you're going to be healthy if you're hurt every year. Like at some point, I'm just going to be like, well, that's just who they are. Like, I don't know if it's your luck. I don't know if it's just the players you have. they're injury prone, but after a while, I just have to believe that's the guys you have. Like they just get injured. And if they don't, hey, I think you will be in contention. But until the team and the players show me that they won't get injured, I can't really believe that they're going to be healthy. So, yeah, that's it for that. Last thing of the show. You can go first. Who's your winner from this weekend and who's your loser, Philly?
Winner, probably the obvious one, but it's the Seahawks. They're proving me, eh, proving each week that this team is for real and they have all the tools to win a Super Bowl. They're dominant on both sides of the ball, and they Sam Darnold doesn't even have to throw the ball, which was the main concern coming into the playoffs. If Darnold does this, but he doesn't have to put the ball in the air a lot to be in harm's way. And yeah, they've dominated the 49ers the last two times they played them. So that was very impressive to me. So they will be my winners. My losers, gotta go. Ooh, I gotta go Bills. I mean, this was your all's year to do it. We've said it every week for the past few weeks. No Lamar, no Burrow, no Mahomes, and Josh Allen. I mean, you didn't have your greatest game, but I mean, yeah, Bills still had a chance to win that game late. Didn't do it, and we're just seeing an end of an era at this point. Sean McDermott gone now, so Bills they got to be my losers.
Alrighty. I'm going to go winner Patriots. You won the game, and it sucks to say you don't want to cheer for an injury, but you won the game, and the opposing QB you're going to have to play in the AFC Championship game broke his ankle. So not only did you win, but you learned that you're going to have to play a backup in the AFC Championship game. So it sucks for Broncos fans. Like, I'm heartbroken. You finally get back to being good. You finally find your guy, and then you get the AFC Championship game at home with a chance to go to the Super Bowl, and that happens. So yeah, that Patriots got to be my winner loser. Uh, Texans, you spoiled that defense. I mean, that's a great defense and generational defense. Like we said, we think they could have put themselves up there with the 2015 Broncos and the 2000 Ravens in that type of, maybe not as good, but in that category. And your quarterback turned the ball over, and you lost the game. So spoiled that great of a defense. That constitutes a loser for me. That's it for winners or losers. Before we get out of here, new news in the NFL world: Mike McDaniel looks like he will become the OC of the Chargers. What do you think about that move? Do you like it?
Is that breaking news?
Yeah, breaking. I'm not gonna lie, I like it because I think I've been saying for a while. I think he's a great offensive coordinator. I don't know how good of a head coach he is. Now, I don't think great, but as an offensive coordinator, offensive mind, I think he's a genius. I think he's in the perfect spot. He might be one of those guys that gets this offensive coordinator job and doesn't leave because I think he's that good as an offensive coordinator. I mean, when he was in Miami, when they had it rolling, you seen what I mean. They had the motion, they had the run game going. He could use the fast guys, and now Tua was limited. Justin Herbert ain't limited. Justin Herbert's got the big arm, he's got the accuracy, he's got the legs. So he might not have the same weapons, but he's got a quarterback that's got no limits on him, and he can take him as far as he can. So yeah, I like the move. What are your thoughts on it?
I love that move as well. And a dome is probably where he belongs. But yeah, pairing him up with a guy like Harbaugh, I mean that'll be great. Herbert, he needs an offensive mind like McDaniel. This was not a guy I was a huge fan of as a coach, but I liked him better as an offensive coordinator, like he was before. And I, that might open some stuff up for the Chargers. Get that O line healthy, and they'll be dangerous next year.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I really like that move. Anything else before we get out of here?
Nope, that'll be it.
All righty. We'll see y'all on Saturday.